Carl and Lou here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and it is Freddy's Nightmares, an episodic recap up to episode number 11, the halfway point of season 1. There we are. Do Dreams Bleed, written by Michael DeLuca and directed by Dwight Little. I'm going to put this out there. This is one of my favourite.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite because it's 2 parts that connect fantastically. Has a really dark elements to it, some fantastic acting, enough moments that made us go, huh, and an ending that really leaves it up to you.
Yeah.
We think we're convinced by a certain thing, but because the episode's trippy and it's dreamlike, we can't be sure because the episode doesn't want to tell you outright. Yeah. And a couple of times we thought we had got the answer, and then it would do something, and we'd be like, oh, okay, that is excellent stuff. Yeah. This is a feature-length film in a short form. Yeah. That is very impressive. Yeah. 3 major players talking about here. Yeah. We have Damon Martin as John Warren. He is fantastic. John is fantastic. Yeah. Damon Martin is brilliant as him because he has to play 2 different roles here. Yeah. And that is impressive. His second one can be a little cheesy, but considering it's almost always in dream sequences, I think that works.
Yeah.
Sarah Buxton as Ronnie Peterson. She's cool. She's nice. She's down to earth, and I like how she plays that in the second one. Yeah. I like her. And Jeff McCarthy as Coach Gacy. Fucking brilliant. Yeah. Fucking brilliant. Everything from seeming caring as a coach should be to, you know, a threat as well. Very, very clever shit. Yeah, so this is, like I said, unlike the normal 2-segment parts, well, this is 2 segments, and it is focusing on one or the other. It's such a complete story. The first one we focus mainly on John. The second one we mainly focus on Ronnie. But it's all, the entire story is linked. Yeah. And weirdly, the overarching one is Coach Gacy, as he has the same role in both stories, basically, and it's just building. John is a star football player, which we did go, huh? Nothing want to call scorn on it, but John does not look like a football player. No. And certainly not a star football player. No. And we were a bit like, be serious, Phil. Yeah. Be serious, episode. Yeah. You know what I mean? Be serious. But he's such a good actor. I don't mind so much. He's good looking. He's got a loving family, a supportive coach, and a great girlfriend. Yeah. Everything has gone good for him. Yeah. It really, really is. Yeah. Except he's harbouring some inner issues. Now, this episode will play around with mental health again, about keeping things buried in and not talking to people and how that might affect your mentality, which really, really liked. And it's strong throughout the entire episode. Yeah. So it means they meant it. It wasn't an accident.
They wanted to, yeah.
Absolutely. But he's having some issues. His studies are becoming an issue. He's got an F in English. We'd laugh at it. I was like, fucking hell, John. Yeah. How bad? Yeah. You know? F. Yeah. But all this seems to be related to him having found a body. Someone who was murdered. Because this story has a killer. Yeah. The person was the latest victim of a local serial killer known as the Chopper. Springwood has issues. Issues. I was down for this. We actually see certain scenes. Actually, we actually open with John having a dream of the Chopper. Yeah. And that's how we first are introduced to him, having that dream. Love it, because that is Freddy Krueger shit. Yeah. And they could have been really lazy and just had it be Freddy Krueger, but they chose to come up with a new one. And I love the idea as well. The year after Spates of Violence and all that, there'll be other people who pop up, inspired and stuff like this. What I love as well is the Chopper is always in shadowy figures. And I couldn't see it confirmed, but I would love to know if Robert Englund actually played the Chopper, because the body type kind of fits. It did fit. And basically, John is dreaming about the killer. But each time he gets more and more detail revealed in his dream. Something he constantly confides into Coach Gacy. He'll confide to Coach Gacy all the time, but won't confide in his girlfriend, and it's causing issues between them. She kind of wants him to open up, but he's not. He's just struggles to do it, but he's able to talk to Coach Gacy. I, in my head, didn't mention this to you, but I was hoping, oh my God, is this a Nightmare on Elm Street 2 thing? Is this some repressed gay feelings there from his coach? Please do that. Oh, yeah. It's not, of course, but you know. But early on, the episode is happy to put Gacy under suspicion. We clocked him, we're like, you know. Particularly pulls like a file that has cuttings and stuff like that. And we're like, why would you have that? Yeah. My God, will it go out of its way in a clever way to throw us off on that one completely? But John's dreams start to really concern him, because he starts to dream about the Chopper first killing his parents, and then in another dream that the killer gets to Ronnie. And all that makes sense for his mental health. He's scared about the chopper. He found a body. The killer has not been found. These are the people he loves. He's worried they're going to get attacked and stuff like that. All of that.
Fears,
yeah, it's very real fears. The dreams aren't very good, though. They're a little bit boring and bland, and nothing really happens in them. There's no gore or anything like that. But it does make John paranoid and believe that the killer is targeting him now. And he becomes convinced that he can use his dreams to reveal the person's face. Love that. That is Nightmare on Elm Street, and the idea that you can use your dreams. Yeah. We also see some great shots here. Him waking up at a specific time of 2:15 is a thing, and sitting directly up in bed to that silence. The talent in this episode is on another level. Good. It's great. Really and the dream when he has, where he realises he's dreaming, or he thinks he realises he's dreaming, and it leads this next segment, was brilliant. Because we were convinced, oh, he's got control of his dreams. Because he comes down the stairs following the same sequence he's done in all his dreams. And he's like, oh, this again. We're like, he's clocked it. Yeah, no, because this isn't a dream. I love that. It's the night that Ronnie's staying over as well. His parents have gone out of town. He wants to stay over. He loves her. He does care about her. He just struggles to open up with her. And they do seem like, they got good chemistry. They do seem like they're a couple.
They were.
It's one of the few times as well that a couple having sex is actually mentioned in an episode. In the second segment, she'll mention making love with John. Yeah. You know, so that's cool. But the killer is there, like John's dream, and goes to attack Ronnie. But John tackles him. Or that's how it seems. Now, what's done really well here is that all of this takes place in a dark room. Yeah. And they're all shadowy figures. Yeah. Now, it's a quick flash. It does look like John tackles him. But when two people hit each other, you don't know that's the case. Because when the lights come on, Ronnie turns the lights on. It actually looks... Because Coach Gacy is there, and he's on top of John, holding an axe against him like that, as if he stopped John. Yeah. And we were like, oh. And we were like, okay, did he suspect John? Was that why he was keeping tabs on him? Yeah. And it really upended us. We were like, okay. We're still not convinced. I would still be like, no, it's probably Coach Gacy and stuff like that. But it was very interesting, and it looks like the killer is John. So... how do we get to the second half? It has to admittedly take some liberties that we weren't happy about because John gets committed. Quietly committed is the word. And in a quick scene, we see Coach Gacy talking to his parents, and they're worried about their reputation. Yeah. Star football player. Yeah. If he gets arrested, it'll destroy their reputation. Yeah. So Coach Gacy has convinced, or been able to convince and arguably gaslit John into believing he is the killer. He admits it to the institution and he's committed. We're not okay with that. It's just a little bit too easy. Yeah. It's just a little bit too silly. But I'm enjoying this, so I'm going to give him a break. Yeah. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. I'm enjoying it. He's been gaslit. He does argue back sometimes, but Gacy's really convincing. Yeah. And John, and this is where the acting has to switch for him. He has to come across a little unstable. Both in the hospital and then in the dream sequence Ronnie will have. Because Ronnie starts to dream. And there are elaborate dreams about John. And in them it seems like he's trying to tell us something. And some of them, elaborate, are really well put together. The pop goes what do they call it? That one. Yeah. So it's like a big freeze and he's turning the wheel and it pops up with three like dead women coming out playing instruments. Yeah. We were baffled. Yeah. Still didn't understand it. Yeah. But the fucking visual looked amazing. So credit to putting that together. So she's convinced. She also thinks John's innocent. So she starts to dig more and more and more. But she also starts to confide in Casey. Now, bear in mind, we're super suspicious of Casey. We're like, don't do this, Ronnie. Don't do this, Ronnie.
Look at his name.
Yeah?
Look at his name.
Yeah, I did notice that. It's spelt differently. It's an E-G-A-C-E-Y. And John Wayne Gacy was G-A-C-Y. Yeah. But I definitely think there's obviously a reference there. Yeah. And obviously that just creates more suspicion. And he obviously, because he keeps kind of telling her to leave it and stuff like that. But then in the hospital, we see that John has started... unfortunately, we probably need more time to explain why he's decided he needs to get out of there. Yeah. I would like it that he finds out that Gacy is the killer, but he's trapped in the hospital and needs to find a way out. He basically stops taking his medication. Love how he does that. They actually show us. He takes the pill apart, puts the powder in his fingers, rubs it all off, and then just swallows the empty pill. It's like, fuck that's
right,
good.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's
clever.
good.
It's a clever way of doing it.
So he can sober off you if you want, and he uses that to escape. We never see how he escapes. Whatever, we haven't got time for that. No. During that period, we then don't see what happens because a new death happens that is connected to the killer. It looks like the chopper has struck again, and Ronnie is actually overexcited about this. Yeah. He goes to Gacy and is like, it can't be him, look, whatever. Yeah. Unfortunately, Gacy reveals to her that John escaped the night before. That's now revealed. And so, again, it doesn't look good. And you know what? Again, we're like,
we don't know. We
really don't. I'm like, I went from 99% sure it was Gacy to 95 to 90, and I'm like, are they doing a thing where it's going to reveal that John was all along? Yeah. Absolutely still can't be sure. But basically, Ronnie ends up going to bed, that kind of thing. And John is basically, we haven't seen John up to this point, but it all comes down to Ronnie getting attacked at home again in the dark, in the shadows, and the same scenario happens basically, where whoever the killer is gets tackled by John, maybe, and when the lights come on, John's on top of the coach this time, so the roles are reversed. Except this time the axe is buried in Gacy's chest. Yeah. Gacy is dead and John is on top. Now this, to me, is fantastic for creating even more confusion. If Gacy had been the killer the first time, he didn't kill John. He was holding him down. Yeah. John kills Gacy.
Yeah.
Like, see, there is a big difference. And the story was like, and it was only something I thought about while writing the notes. I went, they purposely did that, like, to leave you again. Because this ain't a good look. The police arrive. The police arrive then. Yeah. John is obviously arrested. Yeah. And Ronnie, he's begging, like, I didn't do it, I'm not the killer, whatever. But Ronnie's like, I don't know what happened. Yeah. And that's how we end. Yeah. And I get it. Some will hate the ambiguous ending. I loved it. Yeah. I'm like, I still don't know. Yeah. I still don't know. I still lean towards Gacy. I still do because of all they drip fed us. Yeah. But I won't lie. I kind of love the idea that it might be John as well. Yeah. That maybe the pressures just got to him.
And the dreams were more like
guilt. It. Yeah, like split personality. Yeah. The guilt of it. That's what it was.
A clever one.
Because, again, John's figure could have fit the killer's profile that we see. Gacy was a big person. Did it fit? Yeah. It's an intriguing one.
Does this feel like a Freddy's Nightmare?
Yeah. Oh, right. Oh. So I just said it felt like a Nightmare on Elm Street style, but no, you know what? I'm going to agree. I think I know where you're going here. This might be because the dreams aren't dream-like. They're more about inside. Aside from Ronnie's, which are a bit more Nightmare on Elm Street, but even then they're more. No, I think this one actually might. The big difference in this one is that it probably doesn't feel like a Freddy Krueger episode at all, like a Freddy's Nightmares. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, it feels like its own thing. Yeah. It feels like it could be easily a Tales from the Crypt episode or something like that.
It's like its own story, murder mystery. Almost.
I mean, but then to be fair, like that's us deciding that, because I would say to defend it that it does have it is that it's still all heavily based around dreams, heavily based around dreams, and what's real and what's not. So that kind of works in its favour. Yeah. It's strong though, isn't it?
It is a good one.
You did like it?
I did like it. I really liked it. To say, like, leaving you on a cliffhanger, the good acting, and so you had to do 2 parts. Yeah, really, really fun stuff. Yeah. Great stuff from Sarah Buxton as Ronnie as well, and Jeff McCarthy as Coach Gacy. I think, particularly as we'll say at the halfway point of season 1 here, I think we're finding the best stuff is when the 2 segments, it's not that directly connect to each other and aren't 2 separate stories with connecting characters. Yeah. The ones that are like, okay, this could be a complete story, but all we're doing is switching the focus to different characters, seem to be the ones we enjoy the most. Yeah. Because I think it's the stuff we get properly invested in. Yeah. Whereas, you know, an episode where it's like, here's 2 separate stories, but here's connecting characters. Probably going to be the next one.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. This seems to work better. So what do you think? Episode 11 from season 1, Do Dreams Bleed? Do you think it's as strong as we do? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at GBHBL. Just search for GBHBL and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.